Pete Martin. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in other videos of mandolin, fiddle, improvisation, and many other musical subjects, click the subscribe banner below. And if you want to be notified when I post new videos, click the bell icon right next to it. This is video number 2 in the Barry Harris series of how to put his ideas onto the mandolin. I would definitely suggest watching number 1 first because the concepts in each video build on the previous video. There's a PDF file that goes with this, so email me and request Barry Harris video number 2, the major scale. On this video, I will do everything in the key of C, but you should really learn these in all keys eventually. In video number 1, I introduced what Barry calls playing rhythmically, and that's really playing the notes of the current chord on the beat in playing a run of eighth notes in either 3/4 or 4/4 time. So here we're going to do the major scale, and the C major scale we're going to play is, of course, the notes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C, of course. And the notes of the C major 7 chord, C, E, G, B. The C6 and C major 7 chords are interchangeable for us. For jazz players in the bebop era and later, they were very much interchangeable with each other. So basically, whenever we want a major chord sound in jazz, we either play a C6 or C7. So this C major scale that I'll introduce in this Barry's C major scale works against either chord. Example 1 shows the C major scale played from root to 7 and back down. I play it here. Notice how the notes that occurred on the beat in exercise 1 are the notes C, E, G, and B. Once again, just the notes of the C major 7. And if you play them in this way, you can hear the sound of that C major jazz chord, either C major 7 or C6, remember, in that scale. Just like we saw in video number 1, we're going to play the C major scale in the same scale exercises that we did the dominance scale. The reason Barry has us do this is to give us different things besides just the scale straight up and down to play, and you'll be able to use all of these little fragments as pieces that you put together in your improvising. In example 1, we saw the scale just straight up and down. The next thing Barry has people practice on scales is thirds. So you'll play the first note of the scale, skip the second note, play the third note. Then you go up a note in the scale, play that note, skip a note in the scale, go up to the next note in the scale, and etc. That is example 2, and I play it here. In example 2, I just play this in 1 octave, but just like we did in video number 1, we should learn this from the lowest note we can play in first position to the highest note we can play in first position. So I do that in example 3 here. the rest of the examples are just played in one octave, you should do like I just did and play these from as low as you can go in one position to as high as you can go. And then eventually, like I said before, you need to learn these in all keys and eventually all positions. Example number 4 is these thirds with a chromatic lead-in note. So I play example 4 here. Example 5 is descending thirds, and I play that here. Example 6 is the descending thirds with the chromatic lead-in note, and I play that here. Barry also has people play the scale in what he calls triads, which is a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. So it's a 3-note pattern. That is example 7, and I play it here. We also play the triads with a chromatic lead-in note. That's example 8, and I play it here. Triads can also be played descending. This is example 9. Triads descending with the chromatic lead-in note is example 10. Like we saw in video number 1, the last thing Barry has people practice is what he calls chords. So this is play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. Once again, it's a 4-note pattern. This is example 11, and I play it here. In example 12, I play the ascending chords, but with the chromatic lead-in note. Example 13 has descending chords, and I play that here. Example 14 has descending chords with a chromatic lead-in note. last thing let's do is let's play ascending chords, and then when we get to the top, let's turn it around and descend. That's example 15, and I play it here. When you can play all these things in the key of C, then work them through several other keys and eventually in all positions. When you're comfortable with that, then move on to video number 3.